minute or
Thank you for the warning.
two. We were just talking about that.
Yes, you were. Very true. Let's just make sure. It is happening.
Was that we should not have a long meeting today. Yeah. Of course, I'm looking at, Superintendent Martineko. BC.
This is part of life.
Yeah.
It's very normal.
Julie and I and Steve made sure that we kept it, and Sean last week, made sure there was the goal over the next few months is to keep the ship afloat. To use a Navy term. Okay, I think my time shows 6:30. Let's go ahead and stand, call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everyone, to our April City Council meeting. We have a packed house here today, I can see. It's 100% more than we had last month, so. The agenda is pretty straightforward today. We have 2 items on consent agenda. I'm assuming there is no discussion needed on the 2 consent agenda topics. Or any adjustments needed, anything pull up regular. Perfect, we'll leave it where it is, it's just minutes pretty much. With that, our first topic is gonna be a public hearing for the 2025-26 supplemental budget number 2. With that, we will be opening into a public hearing. So with that, I would like to open the public hearing for the supplemental budget 2025-2026. There we go. I am gonna hand this over to a presentation to our budget officer, or interim budget officer, I should say, because we actually need to appoint him as budget officer. I don't think we did that last month, did we?
No, we did not.
Yeah, we need to make sure we do that this time around. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna hand it over to interim city administrator Martineko for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. So what we have is a supplemental. Supplementals are how we rebalance our books essentially going forward. As we go through the year, it is not uncommon at this stage with a few months left that we have some funds that were overexpended for a variety of reasons. You can see some of these. We buy batteries. We have water and sewer funds. Some of those may have not been budgeted exactly the way we thought. There may be more expenses involved in those funds than we anticipated. And that is exactly what the supplemental budget bylaw is for. It's for unanticipated expenditures that we need to account for. So what we essentially do is go through our budget and we reallocate money, primarily from contingencies and from other areas, to rebalance, structurally rebalance the budget. It's important to note that at no time is our funds overexpended, but in certain line items that we have to pull our expenditures from, they get low, and for various reasons. So as this has been worked out, you can see that we have some items that like infrastructure systems, we have put more money than anticipated to preventive maintenance, simply because some of our systems have failed over this last year. We've had some minor operating increases, primarily in parks. Parks use a lot of resources. And then we're talking about operating resources, not professional services, but in terms of toilet paper, in terms of soaps, all that kind of thing. They tend to get a lean budget, but the truth is that we use a lot of materials. And in municipal court, you can see we also have an adjustment simply because the judge is now working longer than we also anticipated with the fine work that our PD is doing. So what this simply does is take money that we have in our accounts and we rebalance it so that we can have a clean slate moving forward. There will be another supplemental 3 that's in the works towards the end of the year, and this is primarily for police, maybe some new but primarily for the police department, and maybe a little bit also in public works, primarily in the sewer, area. We still have ongoing, we're still clearly trying to keep it afloat, literally, or keep it from sinking anyway. But that is the gist of it. Are there any questions?
For me, no, this is pretty straightforward. The dewatering was a big one. The municipal court increase, we were already
Yes.
informed about that some time ago. It's just, again, as you were saying, allows us to balance it to make sure we're in compliance before the audit process starts here right in the month. So. Questions from the rest of council, though? Councilor Pichelle, any questions or concerns?
No,
Councilor Young,
I do not, no.
Councilor Stein,
No, it looked like I was expecting.
and Councilor Zai.
No, thank you.
Okay, with that, let's move on to the next part of this then, since we are in a public open meeting, and ask the public, is there any comments or questions?
So we've got big changes from last year's budget.
Yes, it would have been the one that we worked on last year.
Uh-huh.
So what happens is we go through the year, we do have to do supplementals. In this case, increases in work on the infrastructure, especially around the dewatering side at the public works, like wastewater treatment plant, cost more than we were anticipating, and the court, municipal court, was another big change. Basically, it doubled from what we projected it last year in the budget. So the goal here is what we have to do as we go through the budget, and we'll end up doing it next year as well, is to keep ourselves in compliance with state law. We have to make sure that we keep things balanced. So as things change or something unexpectedly increases, instead of just taking money and moving it from contingency or whatever, the supplementals make sure that it's very clear to the public what we're moving.
Yeah, I just didn't remember the supplementals from last year.
So yeah, as our Superintendent Martin Echo also mentioned, we'll probably have a supplemental free before we actually get next year's 2026-27 budget in place. And again, it allows us to make sure that when we do go into audit, it's very clear, everything's been moved properly. Yeah. Great question though. Hopefully everyone online, all Chief Michael, everyone who listens later, it's a great thing. I wish more would, really dig into budget law, how it works and how cities are very transparent on how this is supposed to work. But again, as you can see, we have a packed house, so things must be going crazy at Hubbard.
And Megan, just a reminder, so next time we have public input, name, address.
Yep.
You want that? Debbie Button,
There you
and I live on J Street, where the nice big fir trees are.
go. There you go. Yep, that allows us to make sure it gets fit in the minutes.
What's left on that section anyway.
Because as Counselor Yonley points out, this is quote unquote a semi-judicial judicial process. So, okay, if there's no other questions then, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public hearing of the supplemental budget 2025-2026. And with that, I would like to make a motion that we adopt resolution number 8432026, a resolution approving the supplemental budget and transferring appropriations for the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Good to go. Passes unanimously. I will start. All right, with that, next agenda, we're gonna move on. Chief Carmen, gonna hand it over to you real quick for your fire district update.
I don't know, usually he has Michael Carmen, but there's always another guy named Michael on. Are you Michael Carmen? I'm thinking Michael Carmen's not
Not a problem. We're just gonna keep moving on then.
on.
Next one is a topic around Love Inc. discussion. I'm gonna hand this again back over to intern city administrator, Martin Echo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, City Administrator Waite wrote a very nice staff report in regard to Love Inc. We had a presentation, last month, about this. And in essence, our cap has been $250 of assistance. We managed to have, 54 households have taken advantage of this. And the comment from staff, and I think just in general, $250 does not go nearly as far today as it did 3 or 4 years ago. So the recommendation is to move that cap from $250 to $500, and we're using already allocated ARPA funds. So in essence, we put this money aside, $50,000 worth. We've had 54 households at $250. We still have plenty of money, and it might go a little bit further to help those in need if we move the cap to $500.
Discussion from council on this one. We'll start over on Councilor Zani.
Yeah, I just want to clarify, it's already paid for.
Yes, the money was set aside with ARPA funds.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Councilor Steiner?
No, it looks great. I'm more than happy to be able to help people out that way.
Councilor Young?
No, I don't have any, questions about that. Looks good.
Councilor Pichelle?
No questions.
So just to reiterate, yes, it's from the ARPA funds that we got back in, what was that, 2021 timeframe?
Right, in that timeframe.
Right, and with that, we allocated 50,000. Love Inc.'s the one that's administering it. We still, if I'm looking at this right, my math is correct, that means we still have over 40,500 left.
Yeah, 14,000. So we, it says the fiscal impact, the city previously allocated 10,000 using ARPA funds for this program, approximately 9,500
Yep.
have been now expended.
So it's going to where it needs to be going, and I think it will still be very healthy for the years to come. Ms. Bunt?
I am apparently behind the times. What is this program?
So this is something that allows those that need assistance, especially with utility bills, to reach out and we can help them out, especially those with low income, senior citizens, et cetera. So we funded the program though in ARPA, those are the American Rescue Plan funds that came in after COVID. We took 50,000 of that and set it aside in partnership with Love Inc. to be able to distribute the funds to Harvard residents that need help.
Okay.
So far we've had, in probably the 3 or 4 years we've had it now, I'm assuming 54 individual families that have been able to take advantage of it. So with that, we've expended 9,500 of it. We still have quite a lot left out of the 50,000. So we're just upping it to make sure that we can cover more water bills, utility bills, et cetera.
Well, the way things are going, probably gonna need it.
Yeah, especially when you see the cost of electricity going up yet again.
The gas bill just went up.
But we just had someone today come in and pay with 11.
It's 20%.
Okay, do you need a motion on this one then? Let me see.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, the suggested motion is to move
It's on the
to
bottom, I
approve
see it.
increasing the annual utility assistance under the Love Inc. ARPA program from $250 to $500 per eligible household.
Do we have someone that wants to make the
I'll make
motion?
a motion that we approve increasing the annual utility assistance limit under Love Inc. ARPA program from $250 to $500 per eligible household.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries unanimously. With that, we'll move on to appearances of interested citizens.
I'm just here to see what you guys do.
All right. Greta's gonna keep driving on. Okay, there are council presentations. There is a few updates and I'll make them very short on this one. Number one, we do have, the city administrator interviews scheduled. All of council have been invited to those. So if you can attend, great. There's gonna be one on the 20th in the evening. There'll be another one on the 27th in the evening. We have a minimum required of 3 that must attend. Those have already committed. That would be Councilor Steininger, myself, I think Councilor Pichelle as well. We're gonna be in executive session, so my request to Julie was to make sure that we extended that also, so Councilor Zadi and Councilor Yonley can attend. She hasn't heard back from me as of this afternoon.
I sent an email to both of you yesterday or the day before.
So either way, if you can make it, great. If you can't, it's fine. I can also brief you after the interviews. We do have 4 candidates. I think we had a total of 12 apply. Out of those, Councilor Steininger, myself, and Sean Wade went through, scrubbed the resumes. We found 4 solid candidates. Those are the 4 that are coming in for interviews. The next one, at the grand opening of the playground, which by the way, awesome job. Those kids are still playing on that every day, except when the rain shows up, and then you can still see them wanting to play on it. I was approached by a resident whose wife is an artist that would like to have permission when time permits to go and actually refresh some of the murals around town. Example, the one down on the at Rivinus Park that's painted up against the side of the well house. I said I'd bring it up to city council here. She hasn't sent me, or he has also not sent me an email back. But I wanted to gauge kind of, talk to the council, see what you guys think. If there's any concerns about having a local artist that wants to go around and refresh any of the murals, if we should be concerned. Assuming they're legitimate artists.
Yeah, I think when we did that, one on the pump house there at Revenus Park, they had brought in examples of what they'd done in previous cities and, actually. Well, actually, the one that was on there before was a big metal plate that took it off. We had at that time, we had a paint manufacturer here in town. They donated the paint and so I'd like to see their work before we, give them the green light.
Completely agree.
I would be interested in having somebody come and do that.
If and when they send me back a message, I'll let them know, come to the next council session and bring in some examples of your work.
For sure.
We don't have a whole lot of murals around town that I know of. I think just one, don't we?
That's the only one that I can think of right now.
Besides the graffiti, right?
I think if you're using the word refresh, then it's not changing.
Not changing,
Just
refreshing.
brightened up and cleaned up and I don't see why that would be a problem.
Just take a look and see what they can do.
Yeah, the concern is, the only concern I would have is I don't want to see it changed, or I've also seen examples in the past of where someone's tried to restore a painting and completely destroy.
Oh, yeah.
I think we've all seen some of this. So I'll wait for them to reach back out. The second one is last month, we did talk about the community garden. We have reached back out to the gentleman who was supposedly or had volunteered, Jake, to continue managing it. He has come back and said he cannot do it. He just doesn't have the bandwidth. We still do not have anyone to step forward to manage the garden. The individuals who wanted a plot there, the Martinez, I did let them know that currently we still do not have someone to manage it. And unless we have someone to manage it, make sure that the water's turned off, make sure it's cared for, plots are assigned, whatever, that we can't just let anyone go in there and do something. They seem to understand. I've also said if they want to, they're more than, they can come in, volunteer to manage the garden, but at this point, we don't have anyone to manage it. So with that being the case, we are gonna be reluctant to let anyone go in and just set up shop there. We need someone to kind of have a central control. So that's a quick update there. And I think those are the big updates. I gotta be quiet from now on. Any other presentations, Counselor, Young?
Have, hello, we're superintendent hat right now. Okay. Have you had a chance to go out and look at that, Veterans Memorial sign out there at Boone's Ferry and Mineral Springs Road?
It doesn't look great.
It's leaning over against so I don't know what it would take to run a tractor out there and pull it up and straighten it out and reset it.
We should have, it's been noted, and, as soon as we get, we should have some more staff in by early next week. We have folks that are out, we're down to basically one on-call person who's been taking the load.
Okay.
But
I just.
we would be happy to take a look at that.
Yeah, when you guys have the manpower and time to do that, but yeah, and I don't know who owns that other sign, whether it's the county or, but they might not like our sign leaning over against their sign.
Probably, I would agree with you, they probably do not. Thank you.
And the other thing I've been watching this brush pile for a while and I was concerned last year, and the year before that it would catch on fire, which luckily it hasn't. It's the one over there, where that car lot is at. We have Black Rock. It's right there on the corner of Third and, what's that street front?
Chief?
G.
So it's next to Mr. Kennedy's lot?
Yeah, I don't know if that's,
Is it on private, is it on his lot or is it on railroad?
well, it's either on ours or his.
Oh, is this the pile of, bark chips?
No, it's brush.
Oh, brush?
It was, I think somebody trimmed some trees and raked it up and
Yeah.
left it there, and then after a year or two, somebody threw some grass on it, so it made it really nice, tender. And, I don't know if it's gonna be up to us or up to, Mr. Kennedy to clean that up, but it probably needs to be removed before this
Well, I'm
warm season we're gonna have upon us soon.
well noted, and I'm also in ordinance enforcement mode at the moment with vision, trees, overhangs. So I'll just fit this right in my schedule.
Okay, and that's all I have.
Okay, Counselor Pacheco?
Just want to thank Public Works for the great job with the new park. It was a lot of fun that day. Almost got ran over by 50 kids. But they had a fun time. I don't, and since I wasn't here last month, I wasn't sure if you guys talked about it. Was there going to be a cleanup day scheduled with, it's been public services in the past? Or either, they would let residents bring a load to the dump, or they bring a dumpster out to the park, and has that been discussed?
Yes, it has been, and Molly King is in working with Republic Services to get that same thing. We have that on our calendar, and that's being worked on.
Okay.
Typically, it's in May, correct?
Right, in May.
Yeah, coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're doing it early because we had a little bit of difficulty with these fall cleanup. There was a different group of people managing the process at Republic Services. And we finally got to the people we had been using and got it cleared up, but it took us a few weeks extra, so we were on top of it a little earlier this year.
If she runs into issues, tell her just give me a call. I can reach out to Cindy down at Republic Services as well.
Thank you so much, sir.
Anything else, Councilor Sal? Okay, Councilor Steiner?
I don't have anything today.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You're gonna be on an airplane tomorrow morning super early, so.
Got a lot of other things going on.
Okay, Councilor Zani?
Yeah, just wanted to quickly double back to the garden thing. Does that mean, so we don't have anybody to manage it, it won't be open this year?
Unless we have someone to manage it, we can't open it.
Okay.
Right, at this point, because what's gonna happen is we need to, ensure that the water gets shut off. I think last year we had a run a long time, flooded it. We need to make sure the weeds are taken care of and that individuals are allowed to plot when they go in, and it's just not one person just using it as a personal garden.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yep.
Want to say thank
Now,
you.
if you want to step forward, it's volunteer to manage it.
Kind of thinking about it, but time is getting,
It's very hard.
is it an everyday thing?
No, it's more about, it's basically ensuring that you get some group, volunteers together, clean it out. And then just make sure that the water doesn't get left on, which is usually not that big of a deal. And then whoever's coming in, just have them sign up that they have this plot, they're taking care of it, they agree to clean it out at the end of the season, and that's it.
What is the season?
Just growing season, I'm assuming now until.
October, yeah.
Yeah,
What do I think about?
if you want to, it would be fantastic,
Just
especially
my,
having a counselor volunteer to do it.
just my job, like, a little bit thing.
No, that's all you have to say, I wanna. Hold on. Okay, that's it for us then. Let's move on to city administration report outs. We'll start off with interim city administrator Steve Martineko.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. So the staff report was, this is Sean's last staff report. I will leave it, let it speak for itself. I will concur that she did a wonderful job of ensuring that everything she wrote did in fact occur to the best of her ability, and it certainly helped me transition to make sure that as the mayor requested, the ship stays afloat. And I believe that that is exactly the case at this point. So I'll point to just a few items in here. You can, if there's any questions on the financials, be happy to answer those. You'll see some items in red in there. Those are primarily areas that we're fixing with the supplemental budget, moving things around. Our biggest issues, and some of those are our professional services areas. I'll have some ideas for that during budget, but that's the primary reason the supplemental is taking care of it. In the burn rate report, Sean had mentioned that we were still waiting for the PG&E. She sent an email out to us saying that the check's been cut and received. So they apparently had an issue with that, and we have up to date on the PG&E franchise fees.
You know, I also read in the report, though, that it was much lower than we expected. I mean, it was still a good amount, it's still much lower. Are they gonna be adding more?
Yes, there will be. It's still, what they did is they had an error in their, how they calculated. And so.
Why can't we have that error our way?
Yeah, this is great when it's done our way because LGIP gets more interest in it, but apparently their LGIP got more interest in it this time, but. They still will owe us for the remaining months. We should be getting monthly checks, so I'll be on top of that. The one the franchise fees that was lower, and Sean had mentioned this, is in our cable franchises. Because of how the franchise works, it's on the video service, the actual cable. When you go to streaming, it doesn't count anymore, and there will be legislation going forward that really limits how that works in terms of getting franchise fees on internet-based services. But our franchise fees right now are lower, and Comcast are Xfinity because of that particular issue. Otherwise, overall, as I would say, the city is on track. We should be about 75% expended, and that overall is where we're at. We have collected a majority of our funds that we're required to we get from our property taxes and other sources. We have also expended about 75% of our funds. It's not equally throughout the funds, but overall 75%, which is exactly where we want to be at this particular point. I don't see, you know, if you go drill down into this, there are some things that clearly, like our sewer, some of our areas are more than 75%, but not by much. And this is just simply because it's not necessarily that you expended more, you're actually expending as much as you were previously. It's just that the amount of money that was allocated at the beginning of the budget last year was less. So clearly, whatever the assumptions were in putting that beginning fund balances in, say, sewer as an example, was not the correct budget projection for what actually occurred. So that's what you're looking at, not as much that, oh, we're spending more money than we should be. It's that we're spending what we have historically spent in those areas, and it's just bumping up against what we budgeted. And so that will be corrected in the supplemental and also in the budgeting going forward into this next fiscal year, as you'll see in the budget committee. Let's see. I didn't see anything else in the budget. You're welcome. I mean, in the money for this year, this month. But if you're welcome to ask any questions on that, I can answer them. I will go to her issue tracker. I know there's some things like Metcom and Newcom that is still being worked on. We'll make sure that happens between the chief and I, but at the moment, we're working on it. There was one item in here, the urban renewal district is happening. We also, the floodplain requirements will be going to planning commission this month, in a few weeks. We also, the illuminated crosswalk. I had a good opportunity to meet with Jenna Brennan. She's in charge of the ODOT projects. This was actually, with her team of engineers, was really going to look at Highway 99, our wonderful Highway 99 project that may someday get completed. But she was doing a walkthrough on this, and the walkthrough was not just on the condition of the road, but where we're going to be putting potential sidewalks or paths. And in the last report, it was they weren't going to do sidewalks. They're going to put a path. They're going to make it's not a traditional sidewalk. It's more like the kind of what you see across by the outlets across the street, where you have a asphalt path that's delineated by either curb or by blocks, and they can route that along between D Street and J Street, have complete continuity with that, separating the road by what will be a curb, but it wouldn't be that the curb was sticking up even with the sidewalk. It'd be actually like a barrier between that, and you would have a nice white path going down, accommodating both stormwater and safe passage for folks. They're also looking at moving where the transit is to maybe a better location. They were looking on the ground. They saw that where the transit location was not great for people pulling over and letting people off, or the buses or anything else. They have control. They have some latitude with the transit authority to move that to another location, maybe up a little bit north, that has better access for people that need to pull over, either drop people off, or be a safer location. And they may alter or just adjust our rapid flashing beacon crossing a little bit to align with that, because they recognize that there's homes that are out there on the other side between J We have Beau Castile and all those homes. Some of those come up and use B, some come and use J. So they want to make sure that there's safe passage for people that want to come across this side to get to services. So that was a very positive meeting, and they are writing this down, and that will be incorporated in the design when they finally get around to redoing Highway 99.
Yeah, it'd be great to see anything on J Street. I see people crossing there all the time, and it just scares me when I see them running across, especially late at night when it starts raining.
We actually saw somebody try to cross, and at that point, everyone, the engineering team was like, okay, we see your point.
Yep,
So-
and I see kids running across it as well. They're running over to the American Market, Big Candy, whatever it is, so.
So it was a very positive meeting. Sean was happy because that was something she'd been advocating for, was a pathway. They originally said sidewalks are just too
And just to be
complicated.
clear, so council, this is the west side of 99.
Right, west side of
But they've
99,
got to
right,
follow
the Hubbard Market side, right. And so, it's really will be, I think, a great, asset to the community to have that walking area. It connects a lot of resources and great for economic development. So,
I believe it when the funding is allocated.
like I said,
Now,
the fund, what is it, the funding is out there. There we go.
kind of go along with that, we were pushing for one to go up on the north end of town, up by the gas station and the mobile home parks.
Okay,
We had, wasn't that where they had those two?
Yep. And that's what you were hearing, the talk about moving, I'm assuming what I interpret is moving the cat stop further in to a different location, and that's where they want to put the crosswalk basically over to the cat station is now.
and the Councilor Donnelly's point, you jogged my memory here a little bit. An important, Jenna said that one of the important things they're going to do with this is not just look at the D to J. They're gonna look at the entire west side and implement part of it, that section now, but make a vision for that entire stretch so that they don't have to come and revisit that again. When the next set of improvements come in, they're going to put the north side going from D Street north in place.
Yeah, that was a concern, because we had a couple people get killed up at that, and then we had a lady over here get killed at by the church across 99. So we were wanting to put something in up at the north end of town for a
Yes.
crosswalk, and that's kind of where.
That's what the illuminated crosswalk is, which is currently paused because of funding.
But if they're gonna move it down here, you still got people trying to get over that gas station.
Yep.
Where trailer parks. So.
There's still a risk of that.
And are there any questions that anyone would like to interrogate me on?
From my standpoint, no on the updates. I appreciate you and Chief's continued focus on maintaining costs. We do need to make sure that every dollar is spent extremely wisely. During the keep the ship afloat, you guys are well aware, bring major expenditures to the council. We'll process them that way. Wastewater treatment plant, I know there's still a lot going on there. I appreciate your efforts on well, I guess you'll get to that in the superintendent side, so leave it there. Other than that, no, I'm glad 3 days in, but we're still going well, right?
And the ship's afloat, sir.
Yeah, apartments aren't flooding, so we're good. Counselor Zadi, any questions you have?
No question, just want to say thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Counselor Steininger,
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
Counselor Yonlin,
No further questions, thank you.
Counselor Michelle.
No questions.
All right, well, let's move on to the police department.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Council. March was a great month. Officer Bob's training's going really well. He's real close to being solo, so he's in his last phase right now of training and is being shadowed by Officer Marshall and doing a great job. As far as hiring goes, we have actually an applicant that came out last week, is going to come out again tomorrow, just to kind of observe and ride along. They've already applied. We actually may have a couple others too that are going to be interested in applying as well. So we'll keep you posted on that, but hopefully going to hold a hiring process before too much longer to look at those 3 that are interested. So we did a lot of training last month as well. Also, CIS did their law enforcement risk management assessment review of the police department. It's something they do every 3 years, and our time was due up. So we worked with our risk management senior consultant to get that done, and had a really great visit. They did an on-site visit as well, and yeah, overall, it was a very good comprehensive review of all of our policies and procedures, training, and overall operations as well. And so, other than that, that's about all I have. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer those for you.
Okay, questions, Counselor Zadi,
No questions, just thank you, Chief.
Thank you, sir.
Counselor Steiner,
I don't have any questions tonight either, thank you.
Counselor Gollman?
No questions, but I did see one of your officers out at the North Marine Schools, pull up park. So thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Counselor Michelle?
No questions, thanks.
Thanks, Cal.
Yeah, I've seen them in Aurora too, early in the morning. Yeah, great. Somebody's babies. They're there. It's good to see. No questions on my side. So if there's no questions, keep doing an awesome job. I look forward to hearing from the other mayors, how the other reports have going tonight as well.
Thank you.
With that, we'll switch it back over to Public Works then.
All right, sir, I will put my public works superintendent hat on. And essentially, we are moving forward into spring. This is that's our high activity level of mowing, keeping things looking nice, keeping, as I've said, keeping our sights on the upcoming Hop Fest, making sure that the town looks great. The water fountain is, we're preparing it for its activities this year. So there's a lot of things internally that we are moving forward with to make sure that we transition well into spring. It's also a time internally where some things like the water system and the sewage treatment plant that changes in temperatures do their flops back and forth, which simply means we have to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. It's kind of a, you know, unstable area, if you will, so we have to monitor it a little more closely. With that, I've had an opportunity over the last 6 months to work with staff to find out where they're at and also to kind of figure out what we need in terms of ensuring that there's good continuity in our expertise as we move forward. Things are getting more complicated, not less, more regulatory, not less, and so it does need good trained staff on hand. So I've been looking at our utility classifications. Currently, right now, we only have 1 and 2. We should have 3. Our foreman specifically should be utility worker 3 in that area. And also making sure that anyone that is new that comes in has a requirement to get their certifications in a time frame, which is very common with most cities. So if you come in at 0, that's great, no issues, you're utility 1, but to get to utility 2, you need to be certified as an operator, at least at a level 1 someplace. So you have this progression. So it would be great eventually to have everyone at utility 3, but you do need to get to that point, because otherwise you have just a single person who has all the knowledge, and that's not a great thing for your system. Our system is very complex and requires a grade 3 for its wastewater. There's only 4 grades. To get to a grade 3, you have to be a grade 2 plus 1 year of operational experience. So it's a minimum of 3 years just to get to a wastewater grade 3. In truth, it's more like 5. So it's very important for the city of Hubbard to start moving in that direction. The second part is we have a person that's designated as administrative assistant. That's Molly, and she does far more than that. Her work, when I first came in, she printed out 4 sheets of paper with all the duties that she has. This is what we call a public works coordinator. And a coordinator is something, it's not an administrative assistant any longer. A coordinator assists with the project management of our projects and things, in addition to taking care of some subsystems like backflow connections, which she does. All of those together, plus receives internal calls from people and then moves them out, in this case to the foreman, make sure they get scheduled and taken care of. So this is really a coordination job, and that is going to be reviewed for you to be made into its own classification as well. Moving from folks to just my monthly observation around Hubbard. I had a few instances where folks had some legitimate complaints about some vision clearance areas. I have reached out to the individuals and my first letters, just so you're aware, when I do ordinance enforcement, the first letter is very explanatory, very cordial. I explain what the issue is, what we have to do. And by the way, this can result in, you know, fine because, or other actions simply because it is an ordinance violation. But I don't hammer that initially. That's way down the page. What I want is an opportunity for them to reach out to me. If you have any questions or issues. In the one instance where we did have a vision, the gentleman did reach out to me and I'm meeting him Thursday morning. I'll show him exactly what we need to do. He was sent a picture with some lines and things, so everyone knows that, but I really work with folks first before we go down that road. And I just want to let you know, because ordinance enforcement at times can be very contentious, particularly when it's weeds and grass and that type of thing, which is what public works gets involved with. So the other part of it is that signage. Your stop signs are just very interesting in this town. They're 4 feet high, they're 7 feet high, they're everywhere in between. And in some cases, it's because the signs got lopped off and they just got stuck back in, but just a slightly lower height. The Manual of Uniform Traffic Codes, or the MUT-CD, as I like to call it, because that's what it's referred to. A stop sign or any signage is 7 feet from the bottom of the sign to the base. And that's for a variety of reasons, but safety is the primary one. So it's not that we're going to go out and replace every stop sign in Hubbard doing that. We'll focus on probably the more critical ones at high traffic intersections first, and some that are damaged. But that's something that I would like to catalog and start managing that particular part of it. It's not going to be immediate, but it's something we should down the road start replacing these with standard size, fixing the toppers, doing the kinds of things that make the town look, someone is taking care of it. And that's a good start to economic development. The second one is that we've had on First Street down by Centennial Park, we had an incident where someone spray painted on the road, slow down, kids. And I get a little bit of the backstory on that. But in addition to, no, that's not right, I try to listen as well. So the question would be, should that be, and maybe there's other areas in towns too, have a different speed limit? Or maybe posted, there's no posted signage on there. We do have areas in town that say, that children playing with a kind of a universal sled of a kid running. And I think that's, council controls that, not Public Works. So any control signage, it has to be brought to you for permission. My thought was to catalog some of these areas. Summer is a good time to do that and bring it to you for this decision on how you want to do that. Clearly, some folks in town will like along the park, there's a park there, there's kids. Should that be? That seems like a reasonable question to ask, but I'd like to bring that to you. I think that would be an important one to do. Projects, Ribbonus will fall off because it's done. And that was a great time. I do have a video of it with the mayor cutting the ribbon and with the hordes of kids. It was very exciting. I showed it to my family. That thought it was the greatest video ever. The problem with videos is you have all these kids' faces and
You can't post them.
you can't post them. I do have a program though that blurs their faces though, but you can't post it. It's just a fun video to watch. The water system last month, I reported only had one bid. Well, we had more people. We were expecting on the 23rd of this month, when they open the bids, to have probably 2 or 3 qualified bids. And that's really good news to have that many folks do it. The original bidder is still in the mix plus 2 more. So,
And the biggest one on that, just so council's aware, if you missed it, we have an extension of 6 months to use those funds.
correct,
So the construction companies won't be on an unrealistic
right.
timescale.
Yeah, it was 4 months before, it's 6 months now, and that's going to provide, as I pointed out, a less risky window for the successful bidder. The biggest issue will not be the filter, the pump skids and all that, it'll be the automation. That is what ties everything together, and that has to be done custom. I mean, the parts aren't custom, but the programming is to make it work. And if you've ever done programming, you know there are things called bugs. And this system has to go through 14 days straight without errors. Any errors that show up, they have to fix it, and the clock goes back to 0, and they have to do another 14 days. Prove that the system and the programming works as advertised. So with the 6 months, we have a better extension, we have a better window to make sure that that happens, because the fear would be you get everything in place, they turn it on, the programming goes south, you have to go 14 days and now you're out of time to do it. On the wastewater side, I did have an opportunity to review the 30% design. That's basically the point where they have everything ready to send to the DEQ for approval. They should be doing that no later than June. But this is not the final design, this is not the engineering. What this is just simply DEQ approval of what the concepts are at this point. One of the things that did not happen and was not included in the grant because it's maintenance is the main arm on our clarifier. The outer arm was designed to rotate. It is only used to rotate for maintenance, but unfortunately, the maintenance is on the inner side of the circles. So you have to be able to walk out there in order to clean it, and that's a critical part of maintaining that system. Right now, it's broken. You can't do it, and the reason why is because the inner bearing assembly is not working any longer. The very inside piece is what's called a clarifier, and that also has a rotating arm, and that's beginning to strip its circuit breakers on that, meaning it's also floating. So the solution is you have to get a crane to pull that arm off. Then you have to replace the center bearing. And then you have to pull the inner scraper assembly and repair it, and then put it all back together. That is about a $185,000 job to do that. So we have allocated that out of what we have in our sewer fund. But it's just a part of doing the maintenance on that. It was part of the original design, and it's about 50 years old. So that's probably the biggest issue that we have going right now. If that fails, we will not be able to maintain the quality standards that we're required to maintain for the sewer system. But we have budgeted, it'll be in the budget, and we're going to make it happen. Hydrant flushing is almost complete. A lot of dirty water out there. I will probably do it one more time this fall, simply because we'll be getting new filter media at our plant. A lot of what we're getting out of our system right now is kind of the rusty water. It's not rust, it's really the oxides that have tainted the stain of the water, so to speak. But if you clean our filters and do it one more time, we should get clear water out of our systems again.
The good news, I haven't heard anyone complaining, so the change in how you're doing it, you think that's helping?
Big change. I altered how it was done this year to do a better hydraulic flushing. In the fall, we're going to actually target fire hydrants and close off valves. And what we do is a hydraulic flush. But that does is force water in a very logical way through the system. It's better flushing, fewer hydrants, fewer water loss, better cleaning. So we'll do that in the fall. Otherwise, I mean, there's several things on here that you can see that we're still involved in doing, but those are the big things that we're working on. I do have an SCA grant that's going to go out by the end of this year, by the end of this month. At the moment, I'm targeting F Street. We'll see how that works out. And what they will do is they will send people down here to evaluate. I have no doubt in my mind they'll look at it and say, yep, this is pretty bad.
The pothole's already back even.
Yeah, it's even the pot, we put 15 bags of stuff in that and it's still coming back.
I think I saw people bouncing through it the other day.
Yeah, it's bad. And Molly is working on the grants for both Barncy and for the nature park, the other end, what, the doggy park, which it really isn't a dog park because you've never authorized it as a dog park, but everyone calls it a dog park. I had to change it on Google back to. It's
I
crazy.
can't give you the history on that, but that's okay.
I know, and I was told, I said, no, this goes way back. I go, okay.
I almost became owner of that one time.
But I will have, this is also Molly's opportunity to do a full cycle on this, so that she's working on the grant and working with the grant coordinator at the state of Oregon. So we'll see what happens. Now, I do not know at this point if how much match money we do have. But it's important to go ahead and go through the process. And we'll see, one of those two, we can put 2 apps in. For Barnsley, the idea was to put maybe some things in there that would appeal to an older group of children, like climbing boulders and that type of thing, rope nets, a fitness type thing, and some areas for kids to hang out and talk.
I thought about those hammock swings. My God, they seem to be swarming the hammock swing.
That, and the best part of that is the steel cables on that. It looks like it's rope, you know. but
It's cable.
It's cable.
Yeah,
It's-
they're testing it.
They are. That's where I would be. And G Street and 99 got patched.
I haven't even noticed. I'm gonna go over and drive over it now.
Yeah, you go over drive, and better yet, ODOT did it.
Even better. I saw that. I was gonna see if that was true. Did they really come out and
They
do it?
really did, they really did patch it. So I made a friend in ODOT, so there you go, that's.
Can't complain next
I'll
week.
tell you, that's it, my job is done, I made a friend in ODOT. That's all I have, if there's any questions, be happy to answer them.
My only inputs, I'm glad you're looking at signs. While you're going through that, please, if you think there's a better place for stop signs to include, let us know. Again, on F Street down from the end, it'd be great to see even a stop sign so people stop on F Street because people are zooming down 4th Street and there's lots of times I've seen near hits. But again, if you see areas that you think are high risk, bring it to us, and I'm sure we'll authorize stop signs to be put up. Also, on the 1st Street or whatever that little street is right by Centennial Park.
Right.
I mean, can we also put speed bumps down there? I mean, something to literally force drivers to slow down?
You can.
I mean, it's not something we want as a through street. But I've seen people do it all the time. They'll try to dodge the traffic, so they'll come and they'll shoot down that street just to get up the D Street. I mean, we put stop signs there. Can we even shut that road down if we wanted to off of A Street? I mean, there's suggestions that we've got, just make a recommendation.
Okay,
One way for this.
Yeah, we could do a lot of different things. One way would be
I don't
another.
know about shutting down, because there's a house, a couple houses in it,
True.
use that as their access.
Mhm.
But, and, you know, if you're gonna put in a speed bump, those things take a lot of asphalt to do.
They do,
And
but
it's
it slows
price,
traffic down.
but it will definitely slow that traffic down. Now, you know, we do have a program, I think, where we cover half the cost of those, and you gotta get
Oh,
So many- so many, people, I mean, we can go ahead and do it all on ourselves, but if the residents want it done, then there's a program where they.
I mean, if you're looking at a street, that's an ideal street to do it on, quite honestly. I know, we've talked about it here, even on 3rd Street down there where they like to speed as well. The fire department wasn't keen on that primarily because they caused them to bounce all over the place.
right,
But on a small little access road, like we're talking there, it makes perfect sense. We can put up a speed sign, we're still gonna speed through there.
they will.
And unless we have a police officer sitting there the entire time, there's little we can do. Speed bump is a motivating factor when you hear your front end scrape on the ground, then you should probably slow down.
You could drop it to 10 miles an hour and change the name to Revenue Lane.
Revenue Parkway. Why is there a permanent officer sitting there? Don't worry.
Long paid for.
Yeah, but, you know, those are things that, for, especially along parks, but I do agree, even around any of the parks, reducing the speed even up off of Rivinus, there's no reason, maybe down D Street, but on the side streets, reduce the speed. There's a lot of kids playing there, a lot of kids running across the
Yeah.
street. We tried to do safety things with flags. I think the flags are all gone now. But I mean, we put stop signs up as well to try to slow traffic down, and I still see people racing through there. So I can't do anything when I'm just standing there watching them speed by.
Well, the inventory sheet's been done and I have lots of suggestions already from staff who tell me and from citizens. So we'll complete that and get it back to you.
Perfect. Other questions, Councilor Bishop?
No questions.
Councilor Young?
I do not, thank you.
Councilor Steiner?
I don't have any questions right now.
Councilor Zai?
I don't have any questions, but I did want to tell you, I think it's pretty impressive that you set up that training program where they can continue on with their certifications and it's time. Really impressive.
And you will see that too, Counselor, I'll be presenting that whole package to you. There'll be an entire package for Public Works.
It's a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I did miss one thing. Again, a shout out to Molly King. She did a fantastic job reaching out to the community, getting the donations that she got. A very proud day for her when that park got to open up.
It was.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what else she can bring to this city. She's fantastic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'm very proud of her as well. She has come a very long way in 6 months that I've known her.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Consent agenda. I'll go ahead and read it as is. Approve the March 10th, 2026 City Council minutes. Next one, approval of the March 2026 check register report.
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as read.
I second that.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Great. Other city business, I almost forgot about this one. We do need to appoint interim superintendent Steve Martinecco as the budget officer for the 2026-2027 budget cycles. If we didn't do that, it would have been out of compliance, I guess. So with that, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Steve Martinecco as the budget officer for the 2026-2027 budget cycle. I guess that's what you would call it.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, Julie, let me know if we messed it up in any way.
I got it.
Got it, great. And welcome aboard to yet another responsibility on your plate, but you already had it there. We're just making it formal. With that, any other city business from city council?
There was some question as to whether or not we were gonna have a work session with the planning commission next week. Is
Are we
that-
gonna have that next week or is that?
No, because that planning commission meeting has gotten really big,
Okay,
so I don't think they decided.
Sounds good.
thank you. I'm actually completely forgot, so when you brought that up.
It's on my list to schedule with Laura, our planning.
Okay.
So I
Don't
have
worry,
that
we'll keep you
down.
guys in plenty of meetings on Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 6 this month, I think, or no.
Yeah.
we're down to 5. I mean, we're good.
All right, any other city business from city council? What about city staff? Any other business that we need to make sure we cover? Okay, if not, next one would be adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
I second that.
All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. No one ever. We are recessed. Thank you. Recess. Dismissed or whatever, so. All right, thank you guys. Great. You as well.
See you guys.